Listen, I'm old, and I really miss Tinker being in Standard. I know that probably sounds crazy, but Lukka is the next best thing. So I've been trying to break Lukka for quite a while. And what I've come up with here is something I haven't seen anyone else try, and it's a lot of fun. Let's jump into it. Alright, let's dig in. So, the backbone of this deck is obviously Lukka. Now, Lukka's down tick ability is -2 loyalty, exile a creature you control, reveal cards from the top of your library until you reveal a creature that costs more than that one, and then put that card into play. Now, most players will utilize this with token generation, because when you sacrifice the token, you look through the token generators and then you find the big creature. But what I realized is as long as all of the creatures that you're sacrificing in the deck have the same converted mana cost, it's just as good. So what we're trying to do here is utilize adventure creatures. We have 4 Bone Crusher Giants, 4 Brazen Borrowers, and then we've also got a few creatures that are a little techie and have enters the battlefield triggers. So we've got Baron and Illyrios. And what we do is we play the 3-drop, we sacrifice it to the Lukka, and then we get our big boy into play. Now, the reason I think this is better than token generation is because Lukka's uptick ability is +1 loyalty, exile the top 3 cards of your library. Creature cards exiled this way gain you may cast them for as long as you control Lukka. When you're using the token generation method, that +1 is kind of a dead ability. It's not useful. Here, we have enough creatures that we can uptick, exile cards, have a bunch more card advantage, a bunch more adventure creatures and utility creatures to play, and just really go to town on the opponent. One of the prime search targets here is Terror. Now, Terror of the Peak says whenever another creature comes into play, he'll deal damage equal to that creature's power to any target. So we're trying to break Terror of the Peaks and Lukka. And how do we do this? First off, we have 1 copy of Thassa. Now, I would run multiples, but you never want to have a Thassa in play and then sack one of your 3-drops and then find another Thassa. You lose a lot of card advantage, dead cards, Lukka's open to attacks. It's just bad. But the 1 copy is absolutely worth it, because if we get Thassa into play, we can start blinking things every turn and re-triggering Terror of the Peaks, killing a bunch of their stuff, doing damage to their head, whatever we want. Some extra built-in utility is with Thassa, we can blink Illyrios to make more 3/2 tokens. We can blink Baron to bounce things. Sometimes that'll be their stuff back to their hand. Sometimes it'll be bouncing our own stuff back to our hand. If we bounce our own Bone Crusher Giant back, we can use Stomp again, kill another creature on their side, and then replay the Bone Crusher Giant. Now, since we're only running 3-drops or higher, this also lets us use Karuga as our companion. So a bunch of stuff in this deck is just synergizing together. It's a ton of fun. Another point of mentioning with Illyrios is when you've got Terror in play and you play Illyrios, it's 2 creatures coming into play. So you can do 2 damage to one thing and 3 damage to another. 5 damage split for 3 mana is a pretty insane rate, so that can be really powerful. We've also got 4 copies of Mythos of Alunis, because if we can copy our Terror after we bring it into play with Lukka, now we're getting double triggers. You know, the copy will do 5 damage when it comes into play, and then anything we play after that is doing double damage to whatever targets we want, and it gets really out of control. The big stuff at the top end that we're trying to find is 4 Waker of the Waves and 1 Yadaro. Now, the reason I only have 1 Yadaro is, first of all, he's in here because if you draw him, you can cycle him, put him back in the deck, That way you make sure you always have something big to search for with Lukka. But if you already have one in play, you never ever want to see a second one, for the same reason you don't want a second Thassa. If you bring a second Yadaro into play with a Lukka, you're going to have to get rid of one. It's going to be a mess. It's card disadvantage. One is good. But we supplement it with 4 Waker of Waves. And this is good because not only is it a great big 7/7 body, gives all their creatures -1 attack when it's in play, and we can bring it out with Lukka, but for 2 mana, we can discard it to basically sift through the top 2 cards of our deck, pick one to go into our hand, put the other in the graveyard. This is another thing we can do with 2 mana on turn 2 to get around the Karuga stipulations and take advantage of that card if it's in our hand, rather than it being a dead card, because a lot of times it's hard to get to 7 mana. Another thing we can do with this is we're running 3 Akroan Wars and 3 Mythos of Vadrik as extra control. Now the Akroan War is especially good because in certain situations it's almost like a Wrath of God without having to go into white. But in other situations we're able to steal one of their creatures and then we can sacrifice that creature to Lukka so they never get it back. Or we can sacrifice, flicker that creature with Thassa. And the way Thassa's wording works is if we flicker the creature we steal with the Akroan War loses sight of it. So when it comes back into play from Thassa, we get to keep it forever. We never have to give it back. And that's amazing. Mythos of Vadrik, I feel like, is a little bit overlooked. A lot of times this acts like a Wrath as well in a deck without white. Really what you're looking for is to get rid of multiple threats with 1 card. And this will do that most of the time, especially against low to the ground aggro decks. As an added bonus, we do run some Ralgren Triomes, and it is possible to have the white mana so that if we need to, we can like kill something and ping a couple other things and make it so those things can't block and then can't attack on their turn and can't activate abilities. So if they've got Planeswalkers in play, we can shut them down for a turn. We can shut down threats to give us another turn to breathe. It can do a lot more than it seems like it can do. And I just think it's a really, really good utility card. The last card I want to talk about is our 1 copy of Sublime Epiphany. Now, this card is really good in this deck, particularly because one of the modes creates a token that's a copy of one of our creatures. So in the late game, once we start to set up our board and we're worried about them dealing with it, not only do we counter a key spell, but we get all of these extra abilities tacked on, one of which is making another copy of Terror or Waker of Waves or whatever we happen to need in the moment. And it gets us so far ahead that a lot of times they can't come back from it. So again, this deck has a ton of synergy, a lot of edge value. We find ways to use Karuga and some of my favorite cards in Standard right now. And let's jump into the games. We'll keep this. I mean, 2 Lukkas is kind of meh, but we have good turn 2, turn 3, so assuming we draw into a land. Like, this deck does everything I like to do with Magic. It's got control, it's got a lot of interesting synergies, and it has enters the battlefield triggers. Like, that's Magic in a nutshell for me. Pass turn. I'm gonna take this. I don't want him to replay it. I do want him to replay that. Do I save the Baron? I think I probably save the Baron. So either I want to get out a Borrower, or I want to get through the temple's tapped turn. Do I have a 4-drop? I don't have a 4-drop, so I don't think I mind playing the temple next turn instead. We're going to play an island. I'm going to pass. We'll put out a borrower, and then next turn we'll temple and we'll put out Baron, and we'll return the ooze again, or Yorvo. Dash East, fine. Temple. Waker. I don't think Waker's great for us right now. We need to find... We don't want to take 2 mana off right now. We just want to get to some of our control spells. Like the Saga and the Mythos. Like, we have plenty of fodder for Lukka. Alright, replace the Yorvo. We are going to Fabled Passage for a mountain. And we're going to drop the Lukka. And then we're just going to sack the Borrower, since it doesn't do a lot for us here.
Always loyal. That is a soldier's duty.
No
In battle,
attacks.
one must be willing to adapt.
Now, if we have to, we'll chump. I think Yorvo with Baron. If he goes after Lukka. Or we just let Lukka die because we have another one. Yeah, I think that's better. We let Lukka die, we play the other one, we trade Baron for something that triggers Terror, and then we kill Yorvo. I like that line. So go ahead. Come at me, bro. Or he just Primal Mights Terror. There's that too. Which would be unfortunate. Nice. Yeah. So in this case, we absolutely trade with the Yorvo, right? But we have no other options for Lukka, and we have other Lukkas, so I think we just have to let Lukka die. Oh, I hate not taking the trade, but it's just the right play. It's just the right play.
If the copper coats won't listen, I will punish them.
Yadaro. Do we swing? Get him to 6? Yeah, let's do that. We've got a third Lukka. So, I mean, if he decides to go after Lukka, that's fine. Laser makes a big guy. I mean, he can block well. But he can't attack. Right? Suppose he can do that. That's fine.
Punished for that.
Ooh. We are having some bad lucks. We're gonna uptick. Bone Crusher, Waker. We don't have enough mana to play out the Bone Crusher and then play out the other Lukka and sack it. And that is relevant. I think he's gonna get so much value off that Great Henge. So much value. Like, we could kill the serpent and then play out the giant for next turn. And I think he's too scared to attack with the Gem Razor. No. No. No, we just play out the Waker. No attacks. The henge is what's making it difficult. He can grow way quicker than I can grow with the henge. We have no recursion, so we're not worried about that. He doesn't know that we don't, but I mean, I don't think he can attack. I mean, we double block. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Alright. Forget the 2 damage. We're gonna play this out. Down tick. Find something. Give me something. That is something.
Evolution provides a tactical advantage.
That is something. We could play out another Lukka. That seems wasteful. There's no way to play another creature this turn. We'll pass. Yeah, Karuga's the right play there. Just get set up for next turn. Like, if our terror survives, we just win, I think. We play Karuga. We do 5 to his head. And then we turn Karuga into something else and probably do a lot to his head. I still don't think he can afford to attack. Maybe I'm wrong. Yeah, he needs another turn, right? Wow. Does he have a trick? Primal Might is not instant speed. He's got 1 mana. I don't think he has a trick. He probably just wants to eat it with the ooze. Yeah, this makes sense. My turn. How much mana do we have? 9? We're so close. So close.
Monsters are the key to defending my city.
So we go 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Illyrios. 2, 3.
Always loyal. That is soldier's duty.
7.
War, surround me.
He's got the reach guy. Oh, those guys have reach. Well, that was a mistake. I did not realize those guys had reach. Shit. Man, this guy has like everything, huh? Trample and reach and vigilance? So it can block flyers and not be jumped? That seems kind of crazy. Doesn't that seem kind of crazy? Yeah, that cost us the game. The game's over. That was stupid. I only have 2 terrors in the deck, so...
Dishonorable discharge indeed.
Let's go, Hail Mary! Ha 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 ha! Woo! Alright, well, that happened. This is good. We'll keep this. I like this hand. And I like this deck. It's lots of fun, so... Aww. We have a friendo. Wayne Train. Supposedly there's custom emotes coming with Zendikar. It's either the best idea ever or the worst idea ever. We'll keep that. I like the idea of being able to say things that I think might actually be able to be interpreted as nice. Like, most of these options, a lot of times are interpreted in very cynical ways, or as being sarcastic. Like, you can't ever be nice to your opponent. They're always gonna think you're just being a jerk. So it'll be interesting to see if we can come up with some emotes that, like, if my opponent's being a good sport, I can actually be like, hey, you're awesome, you know? So we'll actually play out the island first here. Pass turn. Yeah, it could go the other way too. So we'll have to wait and see. Could just be more combinations of things you can string together to sound like even more of a jerk. So we'll see. This is pretty good for us. We crush it. Crush it! Crush it! We'll play the mountain. I'm gonna play the Illyrios here because we have a second. So if we're gonna eat removal, we want to eat removal with the first one. So that we can play the second. It's legendary. Otherwise, I would have played the Giant and kept as many cards in my hand as secret as possible. See, I kind of want to lose a life and draw a card. Could also just steal the Stormfist Crusader. That's a thing I could do. I think I'd rather wait. Let's offer a trade. Let's see what he does. Alright. We're gonna do that. We'll keep it. We're gonna do this. He can get through for 2 if he wants. That's fine. Card advantage. Interesting. Does he have a sack outlet? Is he gonna sack it to draw 2 cards? No, he's gonna mutual destruction. I'm kind of okay with that. I feel like we ate through like half of his hand with like a card. Play Illyrios for the same reasons as last time. Hold up Waker the Waves. And if he survives, we can drop Lukka next turn and sack him. Or, if he plays a board, we can Mythos and probably kill 2 or 3 things. It has been standard lately, just to curate videos for YouTube, but I think once it evens out, it's gonna be kind of 50-50. I'm a free-to-play player, but I play a lot, so all of my gold gets saved for drafts so that I can win gems, and then all of my gems will go towards drafts. Like, all of my currency goes to drafts. And a lot of times I'll sort of combo out. I'm not doing any gem drafts right now because I'm saving them for Thursday for Zendikar. Which is why I'm doing the gold drafts now, just to save up gems for Thursday, because there won't be any gold drafts for Zendikar right away. It'll be all gem drafts. So, yeah, when it evens out, it's going to be kind of 50-50, I think. I'm going to toss a Waker. Grab a Borrower. Play a Mountain. Petty Theft the Raptor. Mythos and kill both of his Crusaders. Just eat through his deck. That's the plan for now. Like, once we deal with him going wide, then we can think about the Akroan War or Lukka. Now we'll swing for 3. Oh, he's gonna Heartless Act. That's a heck of a Heartless Act. Just so much card advantage at this point. Ooh, claim. That's a thing, right? Alright, we will temple. That seems pretty good. We'll keep that. We're going to stomp this dude. And then we're just going to play a giant. And swing. This feels good. Like, just so much card advantage, you know? Another Crusader. Jeez. Oh, wait. Yeah, because of Luris. I was thinking he played it from hand. I was like, where are all these Crusaders coming from? Alright, he gets me to 6. But he is out of gas. Let's do fun things. I'll take his Luris. Then we will Baron the Crusader, I think. Yeah. Now we just push hard. Let's go! He's desperate. He needs an answer. I don't think he found it. Roxa. We'll get rid of Valerios. He tried. He tried real hard. Yep. I think we keep this. We have a turn 2 cycle. Turn 3 Illyrios. Turn 4 Thassa. That seems pretty decent. We'll go Fabled Passage. Pass turn. We're gonna crack it for blue. Even though we don't have double blue right now. Double blue is typically more important in the early game. We have Baron and Brazen Borrower, which are both can be 3 drops that require 2 blue. I mean, he probably takes out our Bone Crusher, right? We just let him. He's looking at our hand and he's like, what is this guy doing? What is this deck? There's a lot of baked in value. Like Illyrios, if he comes out with a Terror online, you can do 2 and 3 to different targets for only 3 mana. But he can also be blinked with Thassa to make more tokens. He's another 3-drop you can sack to Lukka to fish for things, but you get a 3/2 left behind, so just a lot of value. And I think in the current situation we actually play him. Alright, he's got a Gilded Goose. I think I'm okay with that. We're gonna swing. We're gonna play Baron. We're gonna bounce our own Illyrios. so we can draw a card, replay him, get another counter. Or a token, rather. I mean, we could have bounced the goose, and that would have set him back. But I like this play better.
Every death is an opportunity to increase my influence.
Ooh, he kills Baron.
You can scream if it hurts too much.
That's not bad, honestly. I'm gonna trick him into blocking with the goose. We'll kill the goose for free here by swinging on Liliana. I'm just gonna follow it up with a Bone Crusher anyway. So does he go back a turn on ramp or lose Liliana? He does both, but he doesn't know that yet.
I'm a survivor.
We'll pass turn and hold up Petty Theft. Gingerbread Cabin, huh? Haven't seen that used in quite a while. What's he gonna pick? Probably Lukka to get the most value.
My crusade
Yeah,
isn't over.
that makes sense. Trill of Crumbs. I really don't want to bounce that. He is out of mana though. Maybe I bounce a food. I think I'm okay with... Feels like most of the things in his deck are things I don't want to bounce. So I'm sort of okay with that. We'll keep that. And then we'll do... Guess we'll do Illyrios again. We might do Thassa next turn. Pass turn. I'm probably just gonna fish for cards at this point, which I'm okay with. We're gonna get him to 6. Unless he plays a blocker. Well, he gains life, so it won't exactly be 6, but... Nice. Eating so much. So get him to 9. We've got 5. We're gonna play the Giant, and then hold up Petty Theft. See what he does. Massacre Worm. Oof. Well, we want to steal Massacre Worm. So what we're going to do is we're going to take away his card draw. Then on our turn, we're going to play the Akroan War. We're going to steal his Massacre Worm. We're going to swing for 4. Now next turn we should be able to play Thassa, blink the Massacre Worm, and keep it forever. Unless he does something like that. Well, that's game. This is fine. A lot of cheap stuff, so... Fable Passage, pass turn. We're gonna crack it for an island. And then we'll probably Bone Crush something. Well, we know he's got no more hasty guys. Which means no second Fervent Champion. Wow. What does he have in his hand? Torbrands and... And axes. Pass turn. So if he goes right to combat, we just bone crush it. Phoenix. You know what I like better than killing the Phoenix? Bouncing the Phoenix. I want him to waste his next turn replaying the Phoenix. And then I'll kill it. I could wake her now to get a land drop. But I have so many 2-mana plays. I think I just... I think I'll just bone crush the Phoenix. It's gonna be a bit before he has the cards he needs to escape it. Ooh. If I kill the champion here, he loses the knight forever. I like that play. Let's go 2 cards in the grave. Do I just take the 2 from Phoenix so that I can search for a land? I think I probably should. I need to be hitting land drops here. Yay! So many options. We'll pass for now. I think I want to kill the Phoenix, make him eat his graveyard, and then steal it with the Akroan War. I mean, I can kill it and cycle Yadaro in the same turn, or kill it and something else. Or just flash in a Brazen Borrower and block it. That might be a really good trade. We'll see what he plays. Oh, hi, Raid. Welcome to the chat. Appreciate you. This deck's really interesting. It's a Lukka deck, but instead of running token creation, we run 3 drops. And then the Bone Crusher Giants and the Brazen Borrowers allows us to have 2 mana plays. So we will crush the Robber right now. Yeah, it's really cool because it allows Lukka's uptick to not be wasted. We can uptick and draw into like Bone Crusher Giants and all sorts of other cool things. Alright, I guess it's better to get rid of the Robber because he can't bring it back. Whereas the Phoenix he can. We can just kill the Phoenix. We can steal it with the Akroan War. We run the Akroan War because it's like pseudo wipe that also lets us steal something to sack to Lukka, which can be really interesting. So honestly, I think here we just hold up the Borrower. I don't think we waste the Akroan War yet. Pass turn. I like holding up the Borrower. Either it eats a piece of his removal, or it trades with the Phoenix. Either way, we're a lot higher in life than the mono red player wants us to be. See, and now we still have the Akroan War. We can steal Torbrand. And that feels really spicy. I guess we grab the Torbrand, right? We just need to draw into a land. And then we can sack Torbrand to Lukka, so that he never gets it back. Or anything he plays this turn will have to attack us. Alright, we take 2. Oh, that's a bummer. But it's okay. What we'll do is we'll play the Triome. Yeah, I suppose you're right. There's options here. We could Mythos of Aluna, our Akroan Ward, steal his Phoenix. We could just play Bone Crushers and go to town. This is a hard one, to be honest. We're gonna do this. I love Mythos of Aluna. Typically, it's my counter Ugin card. Because they'll play an Ugin, they'll down-tick Ugin. They'll usually have to down-tick to, at most, they have 3 loyalty left in order to wipe my board. And then I Mythos of Aluna, make a copy of their Ugin, uptick my copy to kill their Ugin. And it's really good. Ooh, shocking it. Phoenix, it is gonna kill itself. He's gonna get back Torbrand. We are going to bounce Torbrand and pass the turn. Now what we'll do next turn is we'll Brazen Borrow. At the end of his turn, we'll Petty Theft, return his Torbrand back to his hand. Oh, he's not even going to play it. We'll still do it. Petty Theft. That buys us another turn. And then we can play Lukka and we can get the combo going. Or we could play Terror. I think I like Terror better, actually. It gives us a blocker for the Phoenix. So we'll just swing with Baron. Now we're in a really good position. If he doesn't take out the Terror, We can play Lukka, sack Baron. We'll get something big. It'll trigger the terror. And that'll be pretty much it, I think. Yeah. This is gonna be gross.
See things my way, you are my enemy.
The worst thing we can hit is a Thassa. That's still pretty good.
Evolution provides a tactical advantage.
Okay. We'll swing. Even if we have to block, we know we're not blocking with both. Like, we're not going to lose both of our terrors. That's going to put us down way too much. We have to block here because we'd be in shock range if we don't. And it doesn't matter. Ow. That was painful. Let's do this. Mythos. Copy. For 5. Yeah. Make a copy of Terror. Smack Torbrand for 5. Needs 1 more mana. You can attach Embercleave to this, and that's bad. We're gonna swing. And then we should be able to win. Unless we hit Thassa. There we go.
Tools of war surround.
And we got it. That was fun. I'm working on a post-Zendikar version of this deck right now that you can expect in a couple weeks, and I'm really excited about it. This is one of the better decks and more enjoyable decks that I've done, and I'm really interested to bring you guys the new version, so be on the lookout for that. Until then, like, subscribe, comment, share with your friends, and we'll see you then.